Good afternoon. It is time for Pledge Watch. It is time for NewsFeed actually. It's the afternoon. We are used to doing Pledge Watch very early in the morning, but we are here with the afternoon's news. Thank you so much for keeping it TV 47. And my name is Linda Alela. Like I said, time for NewsFeed as we update you much on matters news. And we have so much in store for you, including what is happening in the corridors of justice. So keep it right here as I take you through this session. We'll also be roping in our reporters on ground just to update us on what is taking center stage as we await more updates. Now, like I said, we start off in the corridors of justice. And Chief Justice David Maraga is launching the alternative justice systems policy at the Supreme Court. Now, the system is expected to incorporate traditional and informal methods of seeking justice as a way of dealing with a huge backlog of cases at the judiciary. Now, let's cross over to the Supreme Court and listen in to what has taken center stage.
The market survey, Dr. Nikau, that we have done.
This policy is as a critical output for the future of administration and specifically the manner in which judicial service
A note which was about 6.3.
There is no doubt that the alternative justice system hold great enhancing access to justice in a holistic sense of the concept. This policy makes clear recommendations and viable options on how judicial system and alternative justice systems can interact in a manner that is mutually reinforcing and focused on an effective system of justice in the country. It brings together the processes that we undertake in courts as well as those ones that are undertaken by our people in various parts of the country. The policy has also identified the use and the immediate steps to be taken in order to animate this important aspect of the administration of justice. These include identification of matters to be brought under HIS. You know that there are some matters that we do not recommend for alternative dispute resolution, such as some of the criminal aspects of the matter, unless they are the kind that can be resolved without much harm. Regulation of the practitioners of HIS, appropriate procedures and the processes in HIS, appropriate interventions and the resource allocation to support the process. As we launch this policy today, I'm especially proud that Kenya is blazing a new, brave and initiative path in this regard. The United Nations, in its Sustainable Development Goals, has explicitly recognized that progress on peace and development depends on the creation of inclusive societies in which the rule of law and human rights are respected. Further, SDG 16 emphasizes that realizing respective, inclusive, and just societies provides the foundation for achieving all other SDGs. SDG 16.3 is explicit that no tool is more powerful in facilitating sustainable development than the promotion of the rule of law and access to justice. Yet, the United Nations estimates that up to 1.5 billion people worldwide have justice problems they cannot resolve. This number includes people who are victims of unreported violence or a crime, or people who have a civil or administrative justice problem they cannot resolve, such as a dispute over land, or the denial of public service. Thirdly, some of those people in this bracket are here in this country. These people without access to justice are victims of the justice gap that characterizes many countries. As the UN recognizes in the report Justice for All, the justice gap is both a reflection of structural inequalities as well as a contributor to those inequalities. The UN report suggests the need to rethink the world's approaches to enabling access to justice to address this veritable justice gap. Among the two suggestions made by the UN report are the need to activate people-centered justice services and the need to make justice services work.
Now, the Kenya Medical Supplies Agency Cancer Board is currently before the National Assembly's Health Committee to answer to queries on the misappropriation of funds at the agency. The board chair, Kembi Gitura, is defending the agency against claims of inflating the cost of personal protective equipment. Let's listen in.
In the near future, I believe, and that is for warehousing. Once we have got the things that we need to have, once the ministry has given us the essential medicines list, as it does from time to time, because we can deal with the essential medicines list, the laboratory list, and all those other lists, so that we know exactly what Kisumu Level 5 hospital requires and what the other hospitals require. If we have a predictability of what the counties require, and by the way, before the devolution, predictability was not very difficult. With the counties, we sometimes get erratic requirements, and therefore there is a queue at KEMSA. With the coming of UHC, it is going to be much, much more predictable, because we shall know what is required to be taken where, when. But as of the moment, what we are working on, both the board and the management, is this. What we require to do mostly is what we call the order fill rate, to be sure that we have 90% and above of the fill rate of what the counties will require. To do this, we require predictability of what is required. But market surveys are going to help us to do that. And the operations director is on top of things in that regard. Then we have to work the turnaround periods. The time that we require when between Mombasa County orders goods or commodities and the time it is delivered at their doorstep, because that's our mandate. And the way we are working to change and improve on the order turnaround period is this. We have the warehouse at Commercial Street at Embakasi. We are commissioning, and it is finished, the warehouse in Kisumu, or distribution center in Kisumu. Now, the distribution center in Kisumu is going to be a replica of the warehouse in Nairobi. And we are doing the same replica in Mombasa, so that the Kisumu distribution center is going to be able to serve 19 counties from Kisumu all the way to Turkana. Then Mombasa warehouse, again, which is going to be a replica of Nairobi, the main warehouse, is going to serve 6 counties, the Tana Rivers and all those others. And Nairobi will be left serving the balance of the counties. But our vision is to have another distribution center, somewhere that we shall be able to serve the areas of Meru, Tharaka-Nithi, Laikipia, Isiolo, Mandera, Garissa, Wajir, and Marsabit from one place. So that if that's a replica also, then we are able at that point to have a much shorter turnaround period from the moment that the hospital in Mandera makes an order to the time we deliver to the door to the rural health facility in Mandera at El Wak, the farthest point. So this is work in progress. This is work in progress, and I want to promise this committee that we are doing everything possible to make all these things work. And we are very grateful to the government of the National Government of Kenya and to our partners in this regard, particularly the Global Fund for malaria, tuberculosis, and HIV and AIDS, and USAID for the same items and on nutrition. So this is work that we are doing. It is work in progress. We are trying very hard to do it. When we get to distractions that the board must resign.
Yes, now the government is expected to approve the 700 million funding for the completion of the 10,000 test acre farm under the Galanakula food security project. The Ministry of Water and Sanitation has approved the funding after satisfaction with the going work at the site.
Speaking after inspecting the progress of the 10,000 acres model farm at the Galanakula food security project, Water and Irrigation CS Cecil Kariuki said there is a need for funding to complete the existing infrastructure put in place before it's handed over to the private sector.
National Irrigation Authority has done a good job until here. They have limitations in terms of they have got the agronomy aspects right, they have got the water management issues right. They may not be the best placed in terms of route to market of whichever crop. They may not be the best placed in terms of intensifying for us to optimize returns from this project. So the next step is the consideration of working through a criteria for this farm to be turned to private hands to be able to bring in the additional efficiency.
Already, the National Irrigation Authority that took over from the Israel company Green Arava has installed infrastructure and are going on with the cropping activities. The National Irrigation Authority is currently testing a variety of crops to see the productivity of different kinds of crops beyond maize, which has been planted for several years.
Good productivity, and right now where you see the team here is experimenting or doing demonstration to be able to see the productivity and the performance of other crops beyond maize, which is what they have done over the last several years.
The national government plans to lease the 1.8 million acres of land in the multi-billion Galanakula food security project following successful developments going on in the area. So far, the first 10,000 acres test farm being developed by the National Irrigation Authority is nearly complete at 85%, and most of the infrastructure development is in place for irrigation work to be done. Eli Logova, TV47.
Now, Migori Governor Okoth Obado is currently in court to answer charges of embezzlement of 73.4 million shillings in Migori County. Obado is appearing in court after he presented himself together with his 4 children to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission offices in Kisii. Now, DPP is accusing the county boss of receiving a total sum of more than 73 million shillings indirectly through his children from companies trading over the Migori County government between the financial year 2013-2014.
178,951 for payment of school fees for Strathfield University on account of Jan Achola Okoth being portion of funds paid to the same company by the Migori County government, whose effect was to disguise the source of the same money, which is jointly and severally ought to reasonably have known the same money was part of proceeds of crime. True or not true, Zachariah Okoth Obado?
True.
Jerry Zachary Okoth? Jared Peter Udoyo Udoyo Swaga? Christine Akini Ochola? Nisop Limited? Count number 21. The charge is for Zachariah Okoth Obado, Jerry Zachary Okoth, Joram Opala Otieno, and Task Dog Printers Limited. The charge is money laundering contrary to Section 3A, Subsection 1, as read in Section 16 of the Proceeds of Crime and Anti-Money Laundering Act. The particulars are between the 17th day of October 2016 and 19th October 2016 at Migori County, the Republic of Kenya. Being the governor of Migori County, son to the Migori County governor, director of Taskdog Printers Limited and the Limited Liability Company, respectively entered into an arrangement for a transfer of payment 1,120,000 for payment of school fees to Shafin University on account of Dan Atola cost, being portion of funds paid to the state company by the Migori County government, whose interest was to disburse the source of the state money, with the gentry and February or reasonably have known the state money was proceeds of a crime. True or not true, Zakaria Okor Obado?
No, true.
Gary Zachary Okor?
No, true.
Joram Kopala Otieno?
And the governor, that is Okoth Obadu, in what is coming in latest is that he has denied all the charges. We follow up on the developments of the same and update you accordingly. But away from it, our division, whose residents have been complaining of being sidelined in the recent past due to its proximity to the Somali border and recurrent Al-Shabaab attacks, has been upgraded to a district. Isadine Haji reports from Wajir.
This is a ceremony of joy and fulfillment of a dream that was long awaited. Ghoraf Harar division was converted to a district, hence forming a large sub-county. This is among the promises of the Jubilee administration to the people of Wajir County.
I will pay a great tribute to His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, who was able to fulfill one of his major pledges of creating Ghoraf Harar among other sub-counties in the Republic of Kenya.
Ghoraf Harar district, which lies in Wajir East constituency, now has a ray of hope, as it will enjoy benefits and opportunities similar to other districts in the entire country.
Establishment of the sub-county goes a long way, okay, in ensuring that we bring services closer to the people in this particular sub-county of Ghoraf Harar.
The presence of the DC, the sub-DDC here, will make faster reactions, faster information gathering as far as any threats are concerned, and fast operations if they are supposed to be undertaken.
The division was hit hard by terror insurgency in the past, but the government response